Hello guys, welcome back to Haymanager. We're back, and this time round we're looking at my predictions and how wrong or right I was at the start of this season. So let's have a look at where I went right and where I went wrong. Starting from the bottom to the top, I predicted in 20th place for Fulham to come dead last. Now, it wasn't too bad of a prediction. I didn't think Scott Parker had what it took to be in the Premier League. He obviously doesn't, as he's been relegated himself, finishing 18th, but that Fulham side just didn't have a strong enough defence for me. The centre-back's always a problem. Adama Luckman's a very, very unique player, really good. They didn't really use Mitrovic as much as well, which was a shocking one for me, to be honest, after a record-breaking season in that championship. But yeah, Fulham finishing dead last, differential of +2. Then I had Crystal Palace. I thought Roy Hodgson didn't have what it took for Crystal Palace to stay up, but his defensive record's been pretty good this year. I've got to admit, he's not scored that many goals. I think the expected goals is like 0.86 for Crystal Palace or something along those lines. But finishing 14th, it's a decent finish for them. Zaha obviously carrying them quite a bit towards the start of the season. They got off to a flare against Manchester United. And then Eze, I didn't expect him to be as good as he was. He's an absolutely brilliant player. It's a shame he's injured now, but a brilliant player is Eze. I really rate him. And just overall, Tyreek Mitchell, a lot of Gaita, I think their goalkeeper, they just all turned up. So +5 differential on that. I really did mess up with that one. And the next one, Aston Villa finishing in 11th position. 11th, I put them as getting relegated. Jack Grealish and a lot of the other players in there. Ollie Watkins, I didn't really know much about him. I needed to probably do a bit more research into how good he was, but yeah, fantastic run for Aston Villa. Finishing 11th, +7 on that one, which is a big one to get wrong. But Aston Villa playing very well. John McGinn and Martinez coming in. I didn't think Emi Martinez had performed as well as he did. But yeah, fighting for Europe at one point, Aston Villa, an interesting one for them. Then West Brom, finishing 19th, I had them in 17th place. -2, not too bad. I thought they might just escape that new signing. I think it's Pereira that plays for them. A very, very special type of player. He was performing when no one else did for them. Otherwise, Sam Johnstone and the likes just couldn't really get the job done, which is a shame, really. I would quite like West Brom, and bringing in Sam Allardyce to try and rescue the season, it just didn't work out for them. Then, Brighton. I predicted I was going to be very tight on Brighton, but I was talked out of it, and I had them finishing pretty low down. So I went with around about 16th, and you'd have guessed it, I got it bang on. Bang on with Brighton. 16th place, probably I reckon a lot of people put Brighton 16th. Not relegated, not the second worst team in the league. How would you say it? I wouldn't say it's a fantastic season for them at all. Like Welbeck, the likes of them, more pay, their expected goals was through the roof. So to not even finish anywhere near that is a shambles for them, really. So yeah, Brighton, not a fantastic year, but I got it spot on. Then Leeds. Now I gave a bit of respect to Leeds, putting them in 15th, I thought these Premier League sides might have a bit about them. And oh wow, did Leeds deliver? Bamford, Rafinha, the side was absolutely phenomenal. I think I did this before Rafinha joined as well. But Ayling, all the players, Meslier as well, just all the players turned up. They played fantastic football, really proved that Bielsa had a style of play that can adapt into the Premier League. And yeah, +6 on that, I'll happily take the loss on that. And then a big one, a really big one here, West Ham I had finishing 14th. Not as low as many others predicted. A lot of others predicted just about avoiding relegation, which was their target at the start of the season. And then to finish 6th, I don't think anyone would have predicted. Anybody, not even a West Ham fan, would have predicted that they had finished there with no out-and-out striker. I mean, Souček came in, who was a fantastic player to sign. But Cresswell had a brilliant season. Fabianski's been playing brilliant for them. Dawson's had a good year for them, Craig Dawson. It's been a weird season for West Ham, but a very, very illustrious campaign for them. Beating a few sides that you'd have never thought they'd have beaten at the start of the year. So yeah, decent run for them. Then I had Newcastle in 13th, just one place out. Finished 12th, didn't they? St. Maximin doing a decent job with them, I reckon. But yeah, Newcastle, Steve Bruce, fantastic season for them. Really, if you look at it in hindsight of how good their team actually is, they'd probably take 12th. They will probably take 12th. Then Southampton, I had them a bit higher up than where they finished. They were doing fantastically well at the start of the season, and then a massive fall off in that second half of the season where they had a lot of injuries. I think they had a few players out of Corona. Ings fell off of form. Che Adams wasn't in the finest of forms, but only him and Ward-Prowse, I'd say, turned up. The goalkeeper situation wasn't fantastic, but just a really poor one for them at the end of the day. And then my biggest upset of the lot, Sheffield United. I had them finishing mid-table. I didn't think the drop-off would be that harsh. I mean, obviously they benefited from a decent break, and then they could sort of press more during Project Restart, really push towards those European spots. But Sheffield United finishing last in the league. Chris Wilder not doing the fantastic job with them. -9 on that one. A really bad call. But then, in between two bad calls, I made a perfect call with Everton finishing 10th, a differential of 0. Ancelotti having a poor season with Everton. A really poor season. You'd expect, with the amount of money they put into that midfield, they really bolstered that midfield. And Allen, I think they offloaded Capoue. They brought in quite a few big players as well. Like, I think they brought in James Rodriguez as well, didn't they? Obviously, Allen and James Rodriguez in that midfield, really good, like a really good side. And to finish 10th is the most average spot really ever. It's not a fantastic finish for them. Then I had Burnley to finish 9th. Another really bad call here, -8 on the differential. Finished 17th. They had a strong end to the season, but for some weird reason, they just couldn't get any sort of form going. They couldn't score goals. They just conceded tons. Nick Pope fell out of form big time. It just didn't happen for Burnley. I mean, they stopped Liverpool's run, which is a big one for them. They'll probably take that as a high in the season. But yeah, Burnley really fell off pace. I thought they might challenge up there, but obviously the lack of investment is really starting to show. And Sean Dyche, he's set up a good system at Burnley, but is he really man for the job going forward? That's the question. Then Leicester City finishing at 5th. I had them in 8th, finishing just outside the Europa League spots. +3 differential. I'll take that. I can't really say I saw Leicester finishing top 4 at all. And then the other two sides, or two of the sides above them, you could probably say, in hindsight, should have finished above them. But Leicester had a fantastic season, a lot of injuries really as well. To finish 5th, I think they'll be disappointed they didn't get into the Champions League, especially being 2-1 up against Tottenham as well, and then finishing 4-2 to Tottenham. It was a poor game for them really. But yeah, Wolves then above them. I had Wolves finishing in 7th. I thought Wolves would finish 7th and get Europa League, but the start of the season, Connor Cody didn't turn up. Raul Jimenez got a very bad injury which saw him out for the rest of the season. Pedro Neto had a decent year, as well as Traore having a really good year, to be honest. But none of the productive values, the end product wasn't there. That's the problem with this side. There was no end product, so that saw them finishing 13th, -6 differential for me. Not great at all. Then I had Tottenham finishing in the Europa League. I had them in 6th. They finished 7th, -1. I'll take that. That for me is a win. I'll take that. -1. It's not bad at all. I didn't see Tottenham finishing top 4. It was just a weird one. It was just a very, very weird one for Tottenham this year. They started off very strong and then fell off towards the end of the season. But to fall off and only finish 7th, I think is decent. I think it's pretty good considering they couldn't have a run of form that helped them at all. Yeah, I think they've done all right. Kane being the standout player for them as well. Then I had Arsenal. I had Arsenal 5th. I thought Arsenal would get Europa League football yet again, but they finished 8th. Arteta, I don't think Arteta's the man for the job with that side. Aubameyang signed a stupid contract, which keeps him at the club for, I think, another 3 years. He's already 32 now, I think. Lacazette having a decent season. Saka coming through. Emile Smith-Rowe came in and semi-saved the season, really. The back wasn't really that structured, I thought. Gabriel with Luis and I really rated Tierney. Leno's a very good keeper. Right back Bellerin's a bit shaky, but I thought the side with Partey, the addition of Partey, Ceballos, Odegaard came in. I think he came in January as well to try and help the side, but nothing worked. So that's why I think Arteta's probably not the man for the job. Then probably the biggest one I've got wrong out of everything here, in my eyes, Man City finishing 4th. I thought it was either going to be Liverpool or Man City. It was one or the other was going to drop off this year, and City didn't drop off. It was Liverpool. It looked like that City at the start of the year, they really struggled. They really, really struggled. And I thought it wasn't going to happen for them. I didn't think it was going to happen for them at all. But they managed to pull it back. You've got to give it them. They finished the league, I think, 14 points ahead of Manchester United, who were in second. Oh, I mean, +3 differential is a poor call by me. It was them or Liverpool, and I had City falling off big time. Then in that third spot, I had Chelsea. Chelsea, an interesting one for Chelsea. I didn't think Chelsea were going to do that well. Not as in with the amount compared to the amount of money they've spent. I didn't think they were going to do as well as you anticipate. I thought they were going to finish third. I was just one out, wasn't I? I think the top four I got spot on, but I just don't know. I couldn't tell which order they were going to be in, which was the problem. It was a very, very weird situation for them. But yeah, I think I'll take that. I'll take that for Chelsea finishing fourth, and me predicting third. Then Manchester United, again, spot on, absolutely spot on. I had faith in my side, Manchester United, to sort of fight for that title. I thought it was going to be tight between Man United and Liverpool, but it wasn't in the end. Finished 5 points off each other. Liverpool finishing third, and at the top of GC, Liverpool third. I predicted them first. I thought they were going to hold on to the title, but then Van Dijk got injured, and a whole lot of mess started. It was really bad. The biggest fall off I've seen for a long time in the Premier League. But then they managed to rescue the season. Second half of the season, they managed to rescue it. Really find form again. And they've come back and they finished third. So you've got to give it the respect that they probably deserve to finish up there. -2 differential on that. And that gives my total at 70. Now, your hallmarks, I think you've seen, if you watch this video, you've probably seen Spencer Owen's video, which I've taken a lot of inspiration from when I did this at the start of the year. He gets around about 50, 60 points. You're looking at, if you get 100 points, you're way off. You're way off. You probably shouldn't even watch football, you're that far off. But then if you're around about the 50 mark, you're looking like a pretty good prediction. If you're looking at 20, you're doing incredibly well. Like, you've called it very, very well. You've been one out in most of them. But then I'd say around 70, 80, probably 75 mark. You're looking at an average knowledge. Getting a few wrong here and there. Yeah, you're trying to aim for those 50s. Those 50s around there, that'd be fantastic. But finish on 70, it's not a brilliant figure. I wouldn't rate myself that high with how great a prediction I've done here. But nonetheless, top four all correct. Arsenal, Tottenham, finishing in around those areas, as well as Leicester City. I just got the West Ham prediction incredibly wrong, which I think everyone else did. The other one, the main ones to highlight as well, probably Aston Villa finishing in 11th, and maybe Sheffield United and Burnley, both finishing very, very low in comparison to where I thought they'd finish. But yeah, I mean, overall, a decent season. I've had a decent prediction. My next video that I'll be bringing out will be judging the managers of these sides in a tier list. I hope you do enjoy that video. If you do, leave a like. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. I'm getting a bit too ahead of myself there, aren't I? So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new, and hopefully next year I can finish a lot better. It'll be an interesting transfer window this summer. See what happens in August, and I'll join you back then for another edition of predictions and where we might stand with these predictions. It'll be interesting to see how my football knowledge has advanced through watching football for literally a year straight now. And yeah, let's see how I do next year. From me, Alex, have a great day. Ciao.